All right, so this is the first video we're gonna watch. It's MMOs are destined to fail, and this is from Rini on YouTube. So I'm gonna put this in the chat, and then if I can highlight the damn thing, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm gonna have the info link and everything in the description for the video. So let's check this out, cause hey, wait, very important, very important. I'm the 69th like. Hey, all right, now I can watch it.
Before Lost Ark, when's the last time you can truly say a new MMO had success? The MMO
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. I wanted to say Final Fantasy 14 but it wasn't like that much success. It wasn't a new MMO technically because they failed miserably when it first came out. Probably World of Warcraft, honestly, where it was like a big hit game. Probably World of Warcraft because I would say New World, but that was a literal flaming train wreck when that released. Yeah, damn, that's actually a really good question. I never thought about that. That stumped my brain for a second.
community is so thirsty for new MMOs that we even give the dumpster fire known as Bless a shot. With how often new MMO
This is
releases
true.
either underdeliver or just get pushed back, at a certain point you have to ask yourself, is the MMO genre just destined to fail? Now, I've dedicated a lot of hours to the endless grind in MMOs.
Hmm.
From the casual grind in Final Fantasy XIV to the no life wasted time known as Black Desert Online, I've experienced it all.
That
I
is a
spent so much of my
wide
time
range.
playing MMOs that I think I can say this with certainty. If MMOs keep up their current outdated trends, we won't be seeing many of them in the future.
That's true, 100% true. They're really not adapting to the times really well, and they're just gonna keep dropping off. Like you gotta adapt to what gamers are into, and adjust to more casual players in a sense. Like how Final Fantasy 14 does. It's a lot easier to jump into that game, and if you're playing solo, you've got the whole main story quest for you. It's a wonderful story. You can just play through that by yourself. They're even adding more and more where you can just run through dungeons and stuff with NPCs. So it's more so tailored to where both people, fans of MMOs and fans of just single player RPGs, can enjoy it, and that's branching out and expanding their audience for it. World of Warcraft is stagnant because Blizzard is stupid. Lost Ark's fun. I enjoyed Lost Ark when it came out, but it's pay to win. You hit a certain wall with that, and it's just like I don't want to pay money for this. And yeah, WoW picked up big time after Burning Crusade came out. I remember a launch for Burning Crusade. Burning Crusade launch was insane. That was like a worldwide event. There hasn't been an event like that for an MMO in ages. So freaking long. I'm trying to think like what other ways MMOs have kind of adjusted. Like New World tried to cater to people who love the hardcore survival PvP only type of MMO, and look where that went. Which I still need to play. I gotta play that soon. I want to make my video on it to talk about the new player experience for that a year after it came out. So I gotta play that soon and get that video out hopefully the end of September. But other than that, like there's no other MMOs have really changed. It's just been all pay to win stuff. Like Tower of Fantasy's been fun. That's kind of an MMO, but not really. It's a weird MMO, but it's definitely pay to win stuff. Like everything else nowadays.
I'm Rin, and this is why the MMO genre is destined to
Rin.
fail.
Okay, that's how you
Chill
say
the
it.
algorithm for me and enjoy the show. Let's begin with what made MMOs wildly popular in the first place. Back in the early 2000s, the
Skateboarding
internet was a
dog.
much different place. Things like TikTok didn't steal 10 hours of your time because you checked out one video your friend linked to you and are now on an endless
Why
scrolling
is this dude
rampage,
crying?
forgetting you have to write a script by tonight.
What is up with this guy? I'm kind of blocking it, but this dude's just crying. Ark Survival Falls is super fun. Yeah, I jumped into Ark a little bit, played it a few days. I haven't really stuck with it, but I guess you can consider that kind of a MMO, but it's like a survival game. It's different with stuff like that. I don't know. I don't look at Ark and think MMO. I look at Ark and just think some kind of survival game, lines of Rust or Valheim, stuff like that. Those I kind of consider separate from MMOs, and it's just like they're massive multiplayer games, but not like that specific MMO esque type of game. Oh, PvP wise, is that what? Oh, okay, that's what you meant by it. Yeah. No, PvP, yeah, it's a huge PvP game. I had problems getting into servers and then immediately dying from like these giant turrets when I just over here have a stick. So that, that was difficult with that.
and I definitely did not include that because that happened to me or anything. Anyway, MMOs were a direct benefactor of this environment. For many people, MMOs were the first dive into the world of online gaming.
Right.
Many of the features they offered were completely novel at the time.
Yeah, like I know I've talked about this before. That's a weird pause screen. I know I've talked about this before, but when MMOs first came out, like EverQuest, Anarchy Online, Asheron's Call, all that stuff early on, even World of Warcraft, there weren't really big chat rooms or chat rooms at all for people just like go and talk in general online. So people would use that to socialize with other gamers, meet people that are into the same stuff you are. You're playing a game, obviously, talk about the game, all that. But it's like a active chat room. Didn't like there were chat rooms out there, but there weren't really anything like that specific. So it was unique in that sense, where it had a lot more of the massive multiplayer aspect to it. But then social media came along, and now everybody plays a game. They're on Discord for it. You don't really use the game for that.
For instance, social interaction in MMOs was completely unrivaled. Now,
See?
instead of being a boomer and having to call someone to talk to them, and instead of being a dirty forum dweller, you now talk to them by typing with your super kawaii
Exactly.
128 pixel avatar. Are you a loser like me who doesn't have any friends that you could talk to with your 128 pixel kawaii avatar?
My
Well,
God.
fear not, because you can also make new friends from the comfort of your own chair.
Which game was
Players
this?
could join guilds,
I never
interact with
played that
random
one.
passerbys while grinding,
I never played this one
or just
either.
sit in the main town for whatever game
RuneScape.
you're playing and spend all day chatting.
This
The
one I
social
played too much.
interaction experience in MMOs was completely unprecedented and a great introduction to gaming
Music,
in
music,
general.
music, music.
MMOs also offered a large variety in gameplay. Many of the features seen in MMOs were experiences players had not had before.
Yeah.
There were large-scale PvP battles featuring entire realms being
Dude,
pitted.
just look at that. Look at that war, dude. Like that's crazy. There's like what 40 people on each side. It looks like. I can't count 4. So 3. No, like 30-ish. I don't know. There's a lot of people on each side. But this is, World of Warcraft has always killed it with their PvP. I've always thought that that's my favorite PvP in an MMO, just because of stuff like this. Like this is insane.
Against each other, dungeons and raids offered hours of fun and memories you created with your friends.
Mhm.
You could role
Farming loot, yeah, arguing over who gets what loot, having people steal your loot. Big into loot back then, but just like making up stories with your friends too. Like you and a friend of yours are trying to go solo something, or a group of you take down this really difficult boss or clear out this dungeon, and it's a very close match where you have like 1% health left and you finally kill the boss. Stuff like that, just sticks with you. But you don't really have those experiences anymore nowadays, in at least in MMOs. Like I'm sure they still happen, but it's not as monumental, I think. And that might be because we've just gotten so used to it, like used to stuff like that happening, and it's just not new. And that's the biggest thing. Like I'm sure he's going to talk about a bit more, but MMOs really do need to adapt in order to actually succeed. And they need to find that little, like, I don't want to say niche, but they got to figure out what current MMOs and what current games aren't doing, or what they are doing and expanding on it, or making their own thing. Because that's how Blizzard succeeded a lot. They would find other things and then expand upon it. EverQuest was out before. I use EverQuest because I'm more familiar with it. Like I never played Asheron's Call, or I think that was the other one out at the time. But like they expanded on that, made it a little bit easier, a little bit more friendlier for players compared to EverQuest, where like you die, you lose half a level. It was intense, and just made it more easier to get into, less graphics intrusive, just a lot friendlier to new players, and that's where they succeeded. And an MMO needs to come around and do that nowadays.
play the lives your ancestors had, living and dying by the way of the land. And by that, I mean pressing one button to catch a fish and another button to cook it.
Yeah,
Very immersive.
that's
As
the
I
easiest thing
mentioned
to do.
before, if you want
It's
to talk
intense.
to others and just not play the game at all, well, MMOs have you covered for that as well. MMOs offer an amazing first look into many systems that were not fully developed, and having them located all in a singular game was extremely convenient, especially at a time where searching for things was not as optimized as it is today.
True.
For better or worse, though, we no longer live in the 2000s. One of the biggest issues MMOs face today is that while giving surface level experiences for all these systems was great 20 years ago, it is the current year, and we're striving for better. The gaming market, and honestly just the content market in general, has never been this competitive before. Due to the nature of MMOs, they
Yeah.
need to branch out into multiple types of content. This, however,
I
leaves
don't even
them
know what game
extremely
this is.
vulnerable to other games or
Funny scroll
softwares that want
thing.
to specialize in a singular type of content. Let me demonstrate why this spells doom for MMOs.
Okay, it's a very good
While
point.
MMOs had a monopoly of
Curious way to
online
say.
social interaction between gamers, this is no longer the case. From MOBAs, FPSs, and honestly even single-player games, interacting with
Right.
others online has never been easier. I'm pretty sure every single person watching this video is a gamer, so you already know where I'm headed with this. Discord. Discord has
That's
completely
what I just mentioned
obsoleted
before.
any need
Yeah.
for reliance on games to interact with others. If you're looking for pure social interaction, Discord lets you talk to anyone at any time, regardless of what game you're playing or what you're doing.
That even helps because if one person's playing, I don't know, Call of Duty, and the other person's playing World of Warcraft, you guys can still talk, even though you're playing different games. And that's why the social aspect for MMOs has kind of gone to the wayside over time.
No more are the days of being tied to a game to talk to your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't have friends to talk to, you can easily find a server for whatever niche topic you feel you belong to. From Star Wars fanatics to dirty weeaboos, Discord has you covered for everything.
Speaking of, we got the Ship of Shinies Discord, so link is down in the description of the video. You guys should join in. It's fun if you don't already. And if you're watching right now and you're not in there, go join in there. It's fun times. We're doing a lot of updates for it too.
Discord is so overpowered that even the people who play MMOs require you to join a Discord dedicated for their server for guilds or whatever you're
specifically
doing.
This fight, the Zodiac Extreme, this was the first Extreme fight that I did in Final Fantasy XIV, and I had to find, like, in order to learn it at first, I had to find a Discord for it because it's just so much easier to have that interaction talking to people. That was the same with like raids back in the day when Ventrilo was the only thing available. RIP Vent. Love that service. It was weird and chonky, but hey, it got the job done
in that game because they know it's 1,000 times better than anything their game can offer.
Yep.
While writing the script, I noticed one other thing that eclipses social interaction in MMOs, and that's VR chat. You want the immersive experience of being a 30-year-old dressing up as a high school anime girl in a maid outfit, talking to other 30-year-olds doing the exact same thing.
What are they doing with their hot?
You don't have to look any further than the virtual world.
What? That is pretty much VR chat.
At levels MMOs are nowhere near.
Pepsi Man.
You can voice chat with other people. Another feature MMOs don't currently offer, as far as I'm aware.
There is voice chat. I believe you can voice chat in World of Warcraft right now. You can't in 14. I don't think there's any other games. It's not something that's common at all. I think the only reason why you can do it in WoW is because of the Blizzard, the like Real ID service thing.
And you're not tied to a singular game, theme, genre, or anything like that.
They're just acting like crabs. Sounds about right.
The experience is so much more immersive. You can meet people who are there to do the exact same thing that you are. And that is be a complete degenerate with no repercussions because the internet police do not exist for another 10 years. Using MMOs so I can pretend I have friends is cool and all, but that's not the only outdated part.
Yeah, nobody uses it.
MMOs necessarily have.
Yeah, nobody uses the voice chat in game for WoW. I honestly, the only reason why I even knew about it was when I started streaming WoW Classic. I didn't want my Real ID friends to like show up on there, so I'd like remove that completely, and that's when I noticed the voice chat thing. And I was like, I don't really play with anybody on here anymore, so I just kind of, I didn't delete everybody. I just kind of made it where nobody can see it ever, and just kind of left it at that. So it's only in-game friends.
A variety of gameplay, but this variety ends up watering down the experience of it all. PvP mains, for example, will find themselves a little reason to play MMOs in the near future. Why do I say that? Well, why would you play an MMO for PvP when MOBAs exist and are starting to offer everything MMOs do and more? MOBAs usually have more fleshed out gameplay and balance, given that their devs are completely dedicated to the MOBA PvP experience. Compare this to MMOs, where it's not monetarily viable to have large teams dedicated to PvP balance, unlike MOBAs.
Well, Final Fantasy XIV took forever to update their PvP, and it's still not really good. Like, it's not something I even dive into ever. And in order for PvP to be viable in an MMO, like, I haven't done New World yet. I know that was the main focus originally was it would just be all PvP, and then people didn't want that, so they made it optional for PvP. But I want to try the PvP in that game. The PvP in Lost Ark, I'm just going off of examples that I've done recently. PvP in Lost Ark was like a 3v3 type of thing. That was actually really fun. I liked that, but it was just kind of like added in there. It wasn't anything major. World of Warcraft, the PvP, at least for Classic, I don't know what retail is right now. I don't care about retail because it's poop. and I just don't want to bother with it. But Classic is great because it's nostalgia, and nostalgia's fun. But the PvP with that is so ingrained, like, into the gameplay itself, so you can jump into that and jump out of it. But just hopping into a MOBA and everything, and like they're so easy to get into. Like you can literally put on, this Pokemon Unite, which I want to actually go back and play. I haven't played it for a while, but you can hop in there. Game takes 10 minutes. Boom, you're done. League of Legends, it's easy to get into, but games last a while. But they have other options in there for it, and it's just more fun from a PvP side of things. Even though MOBAs are, well, I don't want to say that they're all toxic. I don't have good experiences when I play League because I always argue with people because I don't like when people give me shit about gameplay. I'm like, bro, why? But you have all the FPS games, you have all the battle royale games. If an MMO made a battle royale like in the MMO itself, I think that would actually be pretty cool. Personally, I don't know if it would do really well, but personally, I would really enjoy that. I'm turning this up slightly too.
MOBAs also do all of this without making you grind your life away to PvP,
Yep.
because you don't need levels or gear. Don't forget, you're also pulling from a player base that wants nothing more than to PvP for hours on end, meaning more competition, and a larger player base to play
What game is this? I just love that the name is Bussy. I don't know what game that is. It's interesting.
against. If wasting your life endlessly grinding is your motto, well then ARPGs are starting to get you covered there as well. Path of Exile, for example, has all the mindless grinding you enjoyed in MapleStory, but now you have an interesting skill tree system to mess around for new builds.
Insane skill tree system that I
Seasonal
really
resets
want
allow
to
for the
use.
thrill of competition as you race, chasing for the goal of being the first player to clear all the story, only to not get number 1 because you didn't spend 8 weeks theory crafting. Hardcore modes exist for those who want a bigger challenge. You can waste all the time in your life.
PoE looks really fun.
That's truly what
Gameplay wise, specifically.
I'm not saying these are one-for-one replacements.
I like hack and slash,
what I am
random, or not hack and slash, but just
singular aspect an MMO does
slicing
well,
stuff up like this.
another
It's just
genre is
fun.
going to come by and isolate it.
That's why I like Lost
Generally
Ark's
creating a better
gameplay.
experience through that dedication to the specific product.
Right.
The point I'm getting at is that MMOs will not prosper if they continue down this path of watering down their gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
This road is
Facts.
one where MMOs die from 1,000 cuts. There doesn't need to be a big WoW killer to come in and kill it in one fell swoop. People will find a genre that matches whatever niche they enjoyed in MMOs, and little by little, more and more people will start pulling away from MMOs, not going back because the genre ends up offering them a more fulfilling experience for that thing that they actually wanted.
Yep.
There is, however,
very
one system
smart way to word it.
MMOs the current king status to. That is the raiding experience. I've yet to see a genre that gives me anything near the experience that raiding in Final Fantasy or WoW has given me.
No, raids are
Trying to progress with
completely
a
unique
group of
thing.
friends on a giant challenging boss where one mistake makes us all regret our life decisions because
Because you literally can't find raids in another game, like, at all. You can have big boss fights with other players, but nothing like the size of a raid. You played Lost Ark when it came out and it was super repetitive. Like, it got to a certain point where you're just grinding for the same, like, you're just have the same gear on, but you're just leveling it up over and over. And to even get that, you need to pay for it, because if you don't pay for it, it takes you way too long to even attempt to level up, and you're just not viable anymore in gameplay. So that those paywalls are a bit rough.
wipes us at 5%, there's nothing really quite like that.
No, there isn't. It's
the day we see co-op multiplayer
briefly
games
rage-inducing, but then you learn from
may
it.
very well be the day that MMOs no longer have a chance, but I have yet to see it, and it probably won't happen for the near future.
I'm actually really excited to raid in WoW Classic. I haven't done anything yet. I think we're doing. I think I'm doing Sunwell this Thursday. I believe we're doing it. So I figured do that before Wrath launches. But I've been leveling up in that a lot, and it's been a really nice experience. I've been having fun with it. The Lotto upgrade system is horrible, dude. Like, I watch videos of people doing that and spending so much money and not getting their stuff upgraded. It's insane. Like, but that comes from Korea, and that is like a whole different world when it comes to gaming and stuff like that. Like, that is super popular there. It comes out here, it's still popular, but not nearly as much. Although gameplay, I want to make a video one of these days about my opinions on like free to play and pay to win and stuff like that. I've got a lot to say about that, but I've got to actually like sit and get my thoughts into words and all that fun stuff. I want to do like research and whatnot, but it's an interesting topic.
Many other reasons why I believe MMOs will face major struggles. Monetization models for MMOs are hard to sell.
Yep.
Content drought makes it so people quit in droves. The impossible barrier of entry that makes innovation nearly impossible. Unfortunately, we haven't the time today. If you're more interested in these, Let me know down in the comments below.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already to help the algorithm. And until next time, take care.
Yeah, gotta help that all my algorithm. That was a really well done video. Straightforward. Dude's very chill. So yeah, go or I'll link the video in chat again. I don't know why my mouse is being a spaz today, but go support video. Like, give it some watch time, comment if you can. I'm gonna give him a subscribe as well. I'm gonna check out some of his other videos later.